In this video, I will go over how to apply to Fresno City College's high school enrichment program for class registration and point out some tips to increase the chance that you will be registered into your preferred classes. We're going to start off here on City College's high school enrichment webpage. At the top of the page, you're going to find all of our contact information. So if you have any questions, concerns, you need any help with anything, we're available to help you and you have that information. As you scroll further down, you will come to our application information, deadline information. You're going to want to pay close attention to this each semester you hope to apply to the program. It's going to give you the most up-to-date information on when you can submit your college application, when the HSE packets open and you can start submitting those to our office, when registration into the classes actually starts. So we do start accepting applications well before registration actually begins, and you are registered in the order your packet is received. So the earlier you submit, the greater chance that when registration opens, we'll be able to get you into a seat. And then the last column here on the right gives you all the deadlines. So our deadlines are firm. You're going to want to pay close attention to them and make sure that you submit your packet before the deadline. Don't wait till the last minute in case you have any technical issues. If you miss the deadline and you submit it after the deadline, then your packet will be denied. The submission link that I will talk about a little bit later in the video will close at the deadline itself. So we won't accept anything by email, but if you happen to do that, it will get denied. So moving right along, you're going to find most of the information that you could possibly want on this website. It has information about the program requirements, how to apply to the college with tutorial videos, how to access your My Portal, how to access the packet and submit it, what the counselor review process is once you've submitted the packet, resources available to you, lots of frequently asked questions information. So almost anything you could think of that you would have questions about is here on the webpage. So please read it carefully, pay close attention to it to see if your question is answered here and the help that you need is provided. So starting with step one, this is going to review the requirements for being eligible to participate in the high school enrichment program. You do have to meet these requirements to be eligible. So you have to have completed at least ninth grade. So that second semester of ninth grade needs to be reflected on your transcript to be eligible to apply and enroll. You have to have at least a 3.0 GPA if you're in 10th grade and at least a 2.5 GPA if you're in 11th or 12th grade. And then you have to have passed all former or previous state center district classes. So no D's, F's, incompletes, or no passes. Now, if you don't meet these requirements and you still want to try to enroll, you're going to need to go through the appeals process. The appeals process is outlined in the HSE packet itself. So that will give you information about the letters of recommendation that you need to include. It will tell you what those letters need to talk about and who needs to write them. What I recommend is if you know that you don't meet these requirements, when you submit your packet, attach those letters of recommendation. That will prevent delays. So when we receive your packet and we see that you don't meet the requirements, we can go ahead and forward the packet and the letters of recommendation to the Vice President's office so that the appeal process can begin. If you don't submit those letters with your initial packet and you don't meet the requirements, your packet will be denied. You will be offered an opportunity to appeal, but that will take time, possibly costing you a seat in a class. Moving on to step two, the college application itself. Now, if you've already applied to Fresno City College in the past, you may not need to do this step. The only time you would need to do it is if your application has expired. And the only way that that would happen is if it's been more than 2 semesters since you've taken classes. If you've been continuously enrolled, you haven't taken more than a semester off from classes, then your application will still be valid. If it's the first time or if you've taken more than 2 semesters off, you're going to need to follow this process to do your college application. So you can find a link to the college application here. You can also find it at the top right corner of our website on any of the web pages. And we also have included a step-by-step guide for completing the admission application. This guide is super helpful. It includes pictures of each of the screens, so it walks you through step by step. The application can be tricky in a couple of parts and places, so if you need help with it, if you're getting weird errors, use this guide to help you out. But there's also a number you can call if you're having trouble submitting. A couple of spots that students get tripped up. First of all, you want to make sure that you're doing the high school enrichment dual enrollment application, not the other application for students who have completed high school. This will prevent you getting charged any fees. Once you've selected that application to start, there will be another screen down the road that confirms that, asking you if you are entering college as a high school student or after completing high school. So you want to make sure that information agrees, otherwise you will get an error. So that step-by-step guide again is very helpful for you. Moving on to step 3, this is going to walk you through how to access your My Portal, and we do have a tutorial video here that's very helpful as well. So when you've applied, you will get an email sent to your whatever email address you use to complete to do your CCC Apply account. So they will send you an email with your State Center ID number and your State Center email and this information talking about how to log into My Portal. You've got to change that My Portal password within 45 days. Your initial one is listed here to do that initial login, but don't forget to change the password within 45 days. Otherwise, you're going to get locked out. Don't forget to update your communication preferences. Don't skip that part. It's also necessary. Once you're logged into My Portal, you'll be able to access Canvas, which is the online classroom, self-service, which is where you'll look up classes you want to register into, and where you can access your student email, which is extremely important as in general as a college student, but also as an HSC student, because we're only going to communicate with you through that State Center student email. If you're having login trouble, system support can help you, and their number is here. Moving on to step 4, this is where you will find the high school enrichment packet that you need to fill out. This is a PDF document and it is fillable. So you have a couple of options for filling it out. One, you could download it and fill it out digitally and get the signatures that are required done digitally as well. If you choose to do that, make sure that the signatures are the date stamped authenticated digital signatures, not the signatures that look like handwriting. We don't accept those. If you are not able to do that, you don't have access to Adobe, you're not quite sure how to do that, and you don't want to try, go ahead and just download it, print it out, and fill it out by hand. Then you can get those signatures in person. So on that packet, you're going to need to include State Center information. So your Fresno City College email, your State Center ID number, so the best phone number to get a hold of you, all of that information. And then you're going to include the classes that you want registered into, along with potential section numbers. And oftentimes we get questions about how do I choose classes, which ones are the best for me. So we've included information on our website to help guide you. There are a few resources for you on our website. You can find that information here under step 4. And then if you scroll down further under the frequently asked questions and choosing classes, you will find additional information. So RAM pathways and the major sheets are great for exploration. If you want to take some classes to see what you're interested in, what you might like to do after high school, what career path or academic path you might like, use those sheets to take a look at what's available to you here and what you might want to try out. The college catalog is linked here as well. It's a great place to find course descriptions. You can find prerequisite information in there. And then the GE sheets, General Education for UCs and CSUs, is a great spot to find those GE sheets that you would need to complete to finish off your lower division GE. So if you want to go to a UC, you want to go to a CSU after high school, or maybe you just want to complete an associate's degree at a community college and then move on to a career, you're going to need to complete general education, often referred to as GE. What I recommend if you're not sure which of these options you want or which of these school systems you might want, you're going to want to complete the IGETSI CSUGE pattern, which you can find here. That one is the most comprehensive and is going to include all the school systems. So it would work whether you wanted to apply to UCs or CSUs after high school, or if you wanted to come to Fresno City College to complete an associate's degree. The IGETSI CSU would include all of that. You can also get a college certificate after completing that, and a counselor here at the HSE office can help you with that. We've also listed many classes that are popular with high school enrichment students, so take a look at those to see if any of those are of interest. Most of them are GE applicable as well. So going back to the high school enrichment packet itself, couple of tips. One, you are maxed out at 11 units as an HSE student. So as you're choosing classes, make sure to pay attention to unit count because we cannot enroll you in more than 11 units. Also, we highly recommend that you choose alternate sections for your coursework. So say you wanted to enroll in English 1A. Give us several sections of English 1A that you could potentially do. Any of them would work for you. That way, if we start with your first one and that class is all full, we can move on to the second section, see if there's any seats in there. That second section is waitlisted. We're going to move on to the third to see if there's seats in there, because we would prefer to enroll you in a seat versus waitlist you or deny you. So give us some alternate sections to choose from. Another thing to note, in step 5, we're going to cover how to submit your packet. But when you submit that packet, you're going to fill out a digital form. On that digital form, and this is new for spring, you can choose, I want English 1A, but I'm willing to take any 100% online section of that class. Just put me in an online class for English 1A and I'll be happy. If you select that, you don't have to enter section numbers. We will look for an open class with open seats that's 100% online and put you in it. Also important to note, English 1A and most math classes have options and sections that have support class and don't have support class. As an HSE student, you're not allowed to take those support classes, and I'll cover that when I show you self-service in a second, but you're going to want to make sure that when you're looking for those section numbers, you're not choosing the ones with support, because we would have to deny you for that class. We can't enroll you in math or English with support. Also highly recommended when you're filling out sections, if you're choosing the sections yourself, choose sections with at least 50% seat availability when you're filling it out. That way it will maximize your chances of getting a seat when registration opens for high school students. The packet, once you've added all your course information and your personal contact information, school information, all of that, is going to require signatures. You have to sign it. Your parent or guardian has to sign it. Your high school counselor and your high school principal also have to sign it. So again, you can get those digital authenticated signatures, or you can have them signed by hand. You're also going to want to download an unofficial high school transcript or get one of those from your high school office, because that will need to be attached to the packet itself, and it needs to reflect your most updated information with your GPA on there. Once you've done all of that, you're going to save it all, and you're going to combine it all into one document, because when you upload the packet, it needs to be one combined document. And there are a couple of ways to do that. One is to combine the digital documents in Adobe. And if you're not sure how to do that, you can Google it. The other option is to print it out, all the different pages, and then put them in the order that you want them to be read, and scan them in and download that. If you need help with scanning something in and uploading it and finding it, I would recommend talking to your high school counselor, see if they can assist you. Go to your high school library, the community library near your home, or Fresno City College's library, and someone there can help you scan in your documents and then get that digital download in order to upload it to our website. Now let's take a step back and take a look at the classes themselves. So how do you find those class sections? We have a link here to the class schedule. There's also a couple of other ways to do it. One would be to log into your My Portal and select self-service, or you can go to the website under academics and schedule of classes, which will take you here. You're going to select course search tool. Once here, you're going to select the semester that you're looking for. And then at this point, if you hit search, you're going to search for every class offered in spring 24, which you might want to do. You might not. You might already have an idea of what you want to take and you want to limit it. So I'm going to limit this and we're going to look up English classes. And I specifically want to look up English 1A classes. Had I not entered the course number in there and I hit search, I would look at every single English class being offered in the district. By entering 1A, because I know I want to look that up, I'm just going to see those 1A classes. It is still going to be every 1A class offered in the district that I see. If I want to limit that further and only see Fresno City College in person, I'm going to choose this. Only Fresno City College 100% online, I'm going to choose this. So now we're looking at all the English 1A classes for spring. Pay attention to the location. That will tell you which campus you're looking at and which format. Again, by doing our HSE packet, you are limited to only Fresno City College classes. If you're interested in classes at another campus, you're going to need to fill out their HSE packet, which can be found on their website. Another thing to pay attention to is the dates. Not all of our classes start at the beginning of the semester or end at the end of the semester. If you look further down the list, I think when we get to the next page, you'll see that difference. Also, these dates may not coincide with your high school schedule, so make sure that you're attending on that first day, even if that's not when you go back to high school. Another thing to note, remember I mentioned the support classes for English and math. This is how you will know the difference. This chain link looking icon, that shows us that this section has that co-requisite class that you're ineligible for. So any English or math class that has this is a class that you cannot register into. So you're not going to want to look at those sections at all. You're going to want to continue to scroll further down the page. Go to the next page until you start seeing classes without those. Now we're looking at sections that don't have that required support class. That means you're eligible to do these sections. Again, paying attention to the information about where the class is offered and how, looking at the dates. Here we're starting to see some classes that aren't starting at the beginning of the semester. If the instructor is important to you, you can see their name here and you can look them up. And then remember, I recommended that you pick sections with at least 50% of the seats still available. You can see that information here under availability. Units or credits are going to tell you how many units the class is. Remember, you're limited to 11. If you click on the name of the class here, it's a hyperlink that will give you a pop-up description of the class itself. It will also show you details about whether the class has a prerequisite or co-requisite that you might need to meet before you're eligible to take the class. And then the last thing I want to point out is this icon here, which indicates a course is a zero-cost textbook course. What does that mean for you? As an HSE student, you are required to buy your own textbooks. So if you look at a course that has this icon, that means there is no cost for the textbook. It's free. Either the instructor is going to provide you the materials or there's no textbook that is required at all. So if that's of concern to you, pay attention to those links. Now going back to the HSE website. We've downloaded the packet, we've got the section information, we've got all our student information entered, we've got all our signatures, we've combined it into one document, including our unofficial transcript and those letters of recommendation if we need to do an appeal and we know that. Then we're going to move on to how do we submit it. Under step 5, you're going to find the submission links. So you will see at any given time only one submission link available to you, and then placeholders for links that will be coming soon. So we only open one submission link at a time. Right now, we are accepting applications for spring 24 for classes that begin the week of January 8th or later. So when you submit through this link, you can pick classes for the whole semester. You don't have to just pick the first 9-week classes or whole full semester classes. You can pick classes that are full semester, that are late start, that are early start, whatever it might be. It can be for the whole spring semester. After this link closes on that deadline published at the top of the page, we will open the second link for spring 24, and that's going to be for short-term classes only. So the classes starting in March. So you would not be able to then submit requests for classes that started before March or classes that started in the summer at that point. So again, we're submitting based on the information on the link. When you click this link, it's going to open up a online form that you're going to fill out. You're going to put the same information on that online form that you put on your packet, and you're going to want to make sure that information agrees. Don't put anything on the submission form that was not included in your packet. You're going to put your state center email, your student ID number, the classes that you were approved to enroll in. So say you only put 2 classes on your packet itself, you cannot put any more classes on the enrollment form. We won't consider those for you. After you've filled out all the information, then you're going to upload that one copy of that packet. So that combined document that has the packet, the unofficial transcript, and potentially any letters of recommendation all combined into one document. You're going to upload that here. Remember, you do also have that option when you're putting in those classes you were approved for by your high school, that you can check the box that says, I'm open to taking any 100% online Fresno City section of that class. And we will enroll you in anything that has any, English 1A or Com 1 or whatever that class is. If it has an open seat and it's 100% online, we'll put you in it. That way you don't have to worry about those section numbers. So that is an option for you. Important things to know about submitting your packet. You can only submit one packet per semester per student. So you want to make sure that if you're doing this link for the whole semester options, that you're putting every class you want for the whole semester, no matter when it starts. If you're using this link when it opens, that it's only going to be the spring semester classes that start in March or later. You can't edit your packet after it's submitted. So there's not going to be any edits or changes unless they're requested from our office to you. So make sure that the packet's complete. Read through it, double check it, make sure everything's accurate, complete, and you have listed all the classes you want. The packets need to be uploaded to our website by students, not parents, guardians, or high school counselors. And again, it needs to be that one document that's readable, clear. We don't take pictures, so don't take a picture of your application and upload the pictures. We won't accept that. We can't accept multiple pages of uncombined documents. Or if your handwriting isn't readable and we're not able to determine the information, we're going to deny it automatically. So make sure you write clearly if you're filling it out by hand. And then once you've submitted it, we're only going to communicate with you through your state center student email, not your high school or personal email. So you want to make sure that you've logged into my portal and you know how to access that state center email. Because if we have any problems with your packet, if there's any denials or changes, we're going to communicate with you through there. Also, please note we don't accept packets through email any longer. If we get it through email, we're going to send it back saying you need to submit through the online portal, the online link that we have here. Moving on to step 6, what happens to it after you submit it? After you submit it, it's going to go through the review process by the college counselors. If it needs an appeal, it's going to go off to the VPI if you've included those letters of recommendation. When you submit it, you get a confirmation email outlining detailed information about how to check your student schedule and how to manage your wait list if you get waitlisted for a class. So make sure you read that carefully. If you misplace that email, You can always find that information here on our website. So after you get that initial confirmation email, we're not going to contact you anymore unless there's an issue with your packet. Maybe there's a problem with it. Maybe we couldn't get you into any sections. Maybe there's a reason that we need to deny your classes. Those are situations where we would communicate with you through your state center email. But if everything's good and we're able to process it and we're going to try to register you into classes, we are not going to communicate that with you. That's going to be your responsibility to check. You need to be able to access your My Portal and self-service so that you can check your schedule in there to see if you got registered into your classes. If you get waitlisted, that waitlist information is going to be communicated through your state center email as well. So once you get put on a wait list and you're given permission to register, that permission is emailed to you. As a high school student, you can't register yourself, so you have to forward that to us. But there is a time limit on it. You're only given 4 days, and that includes weekends. So it's extremely important that you're checking your student email regularly so that you know that you get that permission and you know that you forward it immediately. We can't be responsible if you forward it at the last minute and our office doesn't have time to process it to register you. So make sure you forward it as soon as you get it so that we can process it and get you registered into your class. If you happen to miss that opportunity, you get removed from the wait list completely. Step 7 is going to have a lot of resources for you as a student, things that will help you be successful in college in your classes. So a digital hub that has digital resources for Canvas, tech support, online tutoring and other tools, library services, disabled student programs and services. If you have an IEP or a 504, your services are not going to automatically transfer over to the college, so you will need to contact them so that you can get those accommodations at the college as well. Food pantry, bookstore information so that you can buy your textbooks, career center, computer labs, buying a parking permit. If you're doing in-person classes, you do have to buy a parking permit. And then the last thing is the frequently asked questions section. So this has a lot of, it's kind of a catch-all for all those types of questions that weren't already answered on the website about eligibility, registration, the choosing classes, which we already looked at, that waitlist information, detailed information about how to manage your waitlist. And then if you need to drop a class or change classes, anything like that, we've got some frequently asked questions, answers on there. One thing to point out, you cannot add or drop your own classes. That has to go through our office. If you no longer want to take a course, you're responsible for communicating that with us in order to drop it before the drop deadline that the college has so that you don't get that grade. If you don't drop it or you miss that drop deadline, you're stuck with that class and you're going to get the grade that you earned. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If along the way, as you're working through this stuff, whether it be submitting your packet initially, applying to the college, trying to submit it through our online portal, or even once you're enrolled, you've got questions about resources, you need some help, contact us. Our contact information is here at the top of the page. We are here to help you. We want you to be successful and we want you to get into these classes. So let us know if you need anything from us.